Hey everyone, and welcome to The Game Code. I'm your host, Stephanie Pelley, and in this episode, we're actually going to be taking a look at Frag For Cancer 7. We're coming at you from the event. We're going to be having an interview with Chris Suley, who owns Blue Nose Gaming. We're also going to be talking to event organizers Yazeed Sobaih and Mike Daniels. But first, let's have a walk around and see what Frag's all about. Retro gaming is actually the theme of Frag 7 this year, so can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Frag 7?
Well, I was here last year, I've been here the last couple of years, and there was somebody sitting there with an iPad, and she looked very, very lonely and bored. So I went over and I said, what's up? And she told me about how they were trying to get retro games, and it fell through at the last minute, so they just had an iPad, which no one was interested in, because Halo, Angry Birds, yeah. So I had all this stuff, and I went up to Yazeed, who runs the whole thing, and said that I have stuff, huge, massive collection, and it basically went from there. So
are you actually over there, like, blowing on cartridges? Are you using the virtual console?
Don't blow on your cartridges. Word of advice. It's not good for them, usually won't help.
Good to know.
But, I'm over there. Everything is 100% original hardware, no emulation, absolutely nothing but the stuff you would have had on the day. And I'm there keeping everything running. We had a few issues this morning. We had a Virtual Boy that stopped working, but right now everything is running smoothly. We've got kind of a range of things going from the Atari 2600 up to the Nintendo 64. It tried to focus on things that were really major and important, but a little sprinkle of things that are interesting. So, we've got a Commodore 64, we have a Super Nintendo, we have a Sega Genesis, but we've also got a Vectrix and, as I said, a Virtual Boy, trying to mix in the stuff which is really historically important with the things that are just neat. If you sat me down and said you can only have one system that's not a PC, obviously, I would probably wind up with a Nintendo 64, maybe a Super Nintendo. It'd probably be a Nintendo console, just because that's where really everything lived prior to the Nintendo 64 era.
First of all, just tell us a little bit about eSports Canada.
eSports Canada is a national organization of volunteers who are committed to growing eSports across Canada. So we're really into hosting live and online events. We have barcraft events, which is how we started. We have barcrafts right now in every province except Newfoundland and Saskatchewan. So if you're in Newfoundland and Saskatchewan, please get a barcraft going and let us know about it. We approached the barcraft Halifax guys from eSports Canada and said, hey, do you guys want to join us? We know that Halifax barcraft is huge. I mean, they do the second biggest numbers in Canada to Montreal, which is the biggest one in the world. And so we said, you guys want to jump on board, work together on some things? And they said, yeah, sure, of course. And so we kind of worked on things, helping them make barcraft bigger. And then they told us about Frag For Charity and Frag For Cancer and all the different events they do throughout the year. So we had to get on board. And I'm in charge right now of adminning for League of Legends. I'm not the biggest fan of League of Legends, but I'm here to support esports, so I'll do my best for that. I don't know if I'll have time to watch the StarCraft, but I really want to see at least the finals for that tomorrow, and as well as CSGO. This is my first kind of LAN event, kind of open to the public. I've been to MLG Providence last year, and that was crazy. I think it was 12,000 people there live. But I mean, it's a different atmosphere, right? You can't really interact with the players, and I mean, you're watching the games from behind fences and whatnot. And NASL was a little more intimate. The players were kind of there. They ran the WCS tournament at the same time. But Frag, I mean, there's nothing like it. It's all friends and volunteers and everyone kind of working together. And it's what they've done here is crazy. I mean, there's 300 plus people here, and I'm very happy for it to be my first one.
Frag For Cancer is actually the brainchild of Yazeed Sobaih, and we had a chance to sit down and talk with him about how the event got started and what they have in store this year for Frag For Cancer 7. First of all, tell us about Frag For Cancer. How did the event get started? What's the story behind it?
So Frag For Cancer started about 6 years ago. My dad was diagnosed with lung cancer at the time, and he passed away from it. A couple of friends of mine, we thought up of an idea to do something back to the community and help out The Canadian Cancer Society raised some funds maybe at the same time as well. So we booked a room in Dalhousie, and we just had a video gaming tournament per se. We collected some funds at the door, we ordered some pizza, and we just had a great time, and that's kind of how it all started. So Frag as well is a video gaming term that means to defeat or to get a kill. So we named it Frag For Cancer.
Tell us a little bit about your first event and how it's evolved over time. How did it start out and what's changed since then?
So the first event was really small. It was basically a couple of friends and we had maybe 20 to 30 people show up, $5 at the door. We had Halo 1 and Super Smash Brothers on Melee. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was very kind of intimate, and it was great. I didn't think it would be as big as it is today.
And how big is it today?
So today we usually get about 200 to 300 people come out every year to Frag For Cancer, and it's much bigger than I ever thought it would become, and it's just great to see all the support from the competitors, the spectators, and all the volunteers.
So with 200 to 300 people, that's a nice sized event. You're looking at the McGinnis Room at Dalhousie. It's a massive ballroom. What kind of goes into the organization of an event of this size? I mean, in terms of volunteers, people behind the scenes, how does the organizational structure look, and how does the behind the scenes look for organizing something like this?
Well, it's a massive event. We really take about 8 months to organize each one. It's hundreds of volunteers that help out from everything that has to do with organizing to marketing to borrowing and lending their gear for the event. So it's huge, it's a lot of amount of work, but it's always worth it the day up to see it all come together.
And how much has Frag For Cancer raised so far?
So in the past 6 years, we've raised about $60,000 for various cancer-based charities and for the Mental Health Association.
And do you always support the same charity every year, or does this vary from year to year?
The different charities that we always benefit and raise funds to include the Canadian Cancer Society, Ovarian Cancer Canada, a couple of cancer kids camps in Newfoundland and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, like Camp Delight, Camp Good Time, and Lions Sick Children Fund. We also raised internationally for the Lance Armstrong Foundation.
Besides the main Frag For Cancer event, or any other events and major projects that you guys are involved with in the community?
We've done a couple of other interesting events. One of them that stands out was actually a comedy night show combined with a lingerie fashion show. So we try to be a little bit creative in different events that we do. Our focus and biggest headliner event is Frag For Cancer. It is a video gaming tournament. Another great event that we've done throughout the year is we've gone to the actual kids' cancer camps and have hosted a rock band night. And each of the competitors, which are 8 to 14-year-old kids who have cancer and also get to bring one friend that they like to, they've dressed up as different bands and have gone on stage and played rock band, and we've had a great time with that, and it's something that I definitely want to repeat again.
Do you find there's any challenges associated with putting on an event like this in Atlantic Canada, or maybe you think hosting an event in Atlantic Canada is an ideal place?
I think Atlantic Canada has a couple of challenges. Just population is one thing that you always struggle with, because if you do an event in Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver, you have thousands and thousands of people that will come out. However, Atlantic Canada, I think, has a lot of perks at the same time. It has that small town feel. A lot of people know each other. A lot of people love to support and are very friendly. I think because there's no event similar to it in Atlantic Canada, that we also benefit from that as well.
Do you feel that events like this are maybe changing the stigma that some of the public may have towards gamers, and the fact that this event is actually contributing to something good?
I think so. I'm not so sold on the stigma. I think gaming is something that really just benefits a lot of people. Hand-eye coordination, thinking fast on your feet. I believe that this, specifically Frag For Cancer, is a great way to show the community that we can also be involved aside from doing a run, a walk, or a ride. So the fact that we do Frag For Cancer really helps and hits a demographic that's not really involved in a lot of those community events, and so this really helps in that sense. Now,
Frag For Cancer was recently kind of rebranded or reinvented as Frag For Charity. Can you tell us the reasoning behind the change and maybe what's different between the two?
We've rebranded from Frag For Cancer to Frag For Charity to be able to support a lot of other charities in need. So we can also now fundraise, for example, have an event called Frag For AIDS or Frag For Autism or Frag For Mental Health. That way we can expand the horizon and help out all the charities in need equally.
Where do you see the Frag event going in the future? What kind of things would you like to see? What direction do you think in terms of like future growth for the event would you like to see?
I'd love the event to grow across all of Canada. I think there is a lot of potential for that, having the same formula as Relay for Life, for example, where it's across all Canada and the US right now. I love where it's going with online. I think we have a lot of potential to grow bigger online and hit a lot of our international fans as well. I think the Frag For Cancer brand is great where it is right now, with being local and being that staple event at Dalhousie University that every year the same folks love to come and bring a bunch of new friends to check it out.
What's your favorite game at Frag?
My favorite game at Frag this year, Frag For Cancer 7, would have to be Counter-Strike Go. I used to be huge into Counter-Strike. I used to play competitively myself, so that's something that I'm glad is making a comeback. My favorite game that I would love to have at Frag would have to be Gears of War. Not a lot of people play that game as much as I hope.
Best memory from the past 6 years?
I have a lot of memories from Frag. I think one that might stand out would be just watching all the competitors and the spectators sitting down and enjoying the comedy show, and our comedian just lit it up and everybody was having a great time. It's great to have that feeling where you see 8 months worth of work all come together and just everybody having a smile on their face and fundraising for cancer at the same time.
How do you think your father would feel about what you've managed to accomplish with Frag For Cancer?
I think he'd be pretty proud. I think it's a great legacy to kind of leave behind. So there's a lot of people that benefited and a lot of funds that were raised for research and for the kids camp. So I think overall he'd be pretty proud.
Well, best of luck with the event this year and hopefully more memories. To close it out, where would people be able to find you online if they want to learn more about how to donate, whether or not they want to volunteer, just to learn a little bit more about Frag?
Well, check us out on www.facebook.com/fragforcancer. Frag is F-R-A-G. Go there, check out the event, invite your friends, like our page, tell as many people as you can, and if you can't make it, you can also donate at the page as well.
Streaming sounds like this little thing you do on the internet, but I like to say, bragging of course, that it's like running a TV show.